Greetings, I am Liz, and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal, and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this thing.
Here we are, we've done it. Okay, so, well, real quick, I did actually go back, and I was like, hang on, she really does go, there's someone that I would like you to meet, but I've lost contact with them, and I could really use your help, basically, getting contact with him again before we got to this scene. So the last episode, when my friend got confused, going, wait, what are you talking about? Yeah,
she does actually tell you that she will need your help. There's some, I want you. There's this woman I want you to meet, and I need your help. I still
think it's weird though, because it's really like somebody wants you to meet, but I need your help getting to them. And you're like, also a thing that I've lost the ability to do, but you've only done it once, so that's not an ability to do. So I have an ability to, I don't know, pull my hair out of my head because I've done it once? Like,
or it happened to me once.
Yeah, it happened
More like one time when I was brushing, a hair got stuck and pulled out of my head.
Right.
Let's pretend people don't normally lose hair. Let's just pretend.
Let's just
and then I lost the ability to do it. It's like something that happens to you. Like one time I was walking down the road and I found an old carnival, but I never found it again. I lost the ability.
I lost the night circus.
And I'm like, I don't know that was an ability. And maybe that's too much of a nitpick, but that feels super weird for her to think of it that way.
Well, and also,
if she does think of things that sort of are random eventual happenstance as skills or abilities, that sounds wild.
Well, also in regards to going, ability implies that you had a skill to cause that to happen yourself. Mm-hmm. So her going this thing, and also then your character going, oh yeah, personal gateway. It's like, except it sounds like she literally only used her, quote, personal gateway once, and it sounds like it was completely on accident, and that's not using, that's fumbling into something because you happen to fall down the stairs.
So, okay.
I have an ability to fall down the stairs, yeah, but why would you?
Okay, no, but hang on. Okay, so it happened when she was young, and she's calling it a skill. Maybe it's the equivalent of like when young Americans are like, I drew pentagrams and sigils, and I did, like I used the Ouija board and stuff. So I was into stuff when I was a kid, and so I had developed skills.
Oh,
and this time a thing happened, but then I couldn't do it again.
Are you talking about? Okay, so yeah, okay.
So it's in relation to other skills she developed. But since she wasn't able to do it again, she is going, I lost that particular skill, that ability.
And you're like, did you ever actually have the ability, or did you just sort of fumble through and vaguely sort of entertain various different, like, let's say, like, I've run into people who, like, were like, oh, no, we practice witchcraft. And I'm like, you copied a random sigil offline, you've read one or two, things about it, and you specifically looked for things in relation to this, and maybe a thing happened, you're not sure, but, no, something happened, but you really can't be clear about it. I'm like, that as far as
I can't do it again.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
I don't know, dear.
It's okay.
As far as I know, all the magics take a lot of practice.
Anyway, as far as I know.
Anyway, so that's what we've come to. Here we go. I lost the ability to go to that gate some time ago. Can you help me get there again?
In theory, if Nadia has been there before, I might be able to guide her there once more.
But if she hadn't been there, then nothing. All right. What if I fail? I can try.
I don't think Corazon thinks a lot about going, I'm just going to fail. I can try.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
I can try. I'm not sure if it will work. Of course, I would probably... Corazon, why would I... What?
Also, again,
I can try already implies that's an attempt. It doesn't mean it will succeed. That's so... Okay, just trying is attempting. Trying is not a guaranteed this thing unless, like, you're really concerned. People going, I can make an attempt. I can try. That's what that means.
It's a little redundant, I was to say, but I also am just like, I'm still wondering at what point of going, what made her go, I want to see this person again that I saw once in my childhood right now?
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Also, again, I'd thought basically part of Nadia's thing, especially when she shows up sort of in your experience, she's going like, I have visions of the future. What happened to that shit? Right? Do you remember where she was like, I've got these terrible headaches and these terrible visions, basically,
and these nightmares and things.
And I'm like,
I need to deal with them.
That has never come up once again.
Other than I keep getting headaches and nightmares.
And that's it.
But not related to anything or content that's important.
So speaking of shit that was introduced and then completely dropped in about 5 seconds, here's our hot potato.
Right. That is all I ask, Corazon. I believe in you. I have seen you do some wondrous things, and I have seen us together, accomplish even more.
Except that based on everything that I've seen,
Like,
we
what
actually
have
haven't...
you done together?
I don't know.
What have we done together?
Your character was literally useless garbage in regards to that sort of, like, mock trial
But,
thing.
like, if we're talking about magic, and then we go wondrous things together, we've never done any magic with Nadia.
At all.
At all. Because that's what that sounds like. It follows directly going,
Uh-huh.
I've seen you do some wondrous magic, and we've done some wondrous things, you know, some power, you know, like amazing magic things, and we've done some wondrous things together. It sounds like it's going right off of the magic.
We're not the magic man here. I don't think we're the magic partnership here. We're not magician and assistant.
And I'm like, I don't think we've ever used magic with her at all.
Not even slightly.
Anyway, even more. You make me stronger.
Whoa. That is like a...
That is a... Yes. Let's just say,
whoa.
you make me stronger. Like, hello. In the privacy of your secret boudoir. I mean laboratory. Workshop. Workshop.
Right.
Yes.
Of course. I take a deep breath, finding my center. I hold Nadia's hands tight in my own. Good to know that I actually know how to perform this thing, again, for random magic that we just know how to do, but the story never tells us.
See, and I got the impression that you don't actually know how to do it. What you have is some theory. So you go, well, if she's been there before, this is a thing that should be possible.
Yeah, but
And
that also
going,
means, though, you know how that process works in my mind.
Or you have an idea of what may need to be done. Okay, so
but the thing is where do you even get those ideas from? Do you know what I mean? I'm going like, what do we know in order to create basically that foundation of, hey, we could do this possibly? Does that make sense?
So, and what
like,
I'm
going further, going,
right.
What are the basic fundamentals of our education at all?
Okay, so look at it this way. Let's say we have some magic education, which we do because we do magic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and given that, let's say magic is a little like cooking. Some skill, some guesswork, some preference, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what you've got is, if you've ever cooked, like, say, a souffle before, which involves eggs and baking and measurements,
okay,
then someone could say, well, I want to make a quiche. And you go, well, in theory, that should be possible.
Right.
And you go, I've never done it before, but the basics are you're going to need eggs, and you're going to need seasonings, and you're going to need an oven.
Okay.
So you've got the basics of magic things.
Okay.
Is you need to calm and center yourself, and you need to focus on whatever the subject is.
So what you're saying is that, like, somehow we have more or less like a more scientific kind of base where people are like, hi, I know how, like, what eggs do in mixes. I know what eggs are for in mixes, or sugar, and then these types of starches and this thing and that thing, and kind of knowing the science behind it, but not really knowing how the recipe basically looks.
Exactly. And the thing is it can be
like what the actual recipe is.
And it could be supported by our playthrough in Julian's route of going, magic is a skill, anyone can learn it.
Yes, which I'm still...
So if somebody goes, I've done some gymnastics, but I've never done a backwards somersault, you could go, well, in theory, I could probably figure out what that is.
Right.
I actually even saw a Vine a long time ago where people were like, okay, we've never done a backwards somersault, we're going to try it.
Right.
You know? And it's like, they obviously had direction, but it's one of those things of going, you could have a theory of what it would look like if you know what the forward one is. Okay.
Nadia's hands tight in my own. Close your eyes and think of that place.
The person or the place? Just the place. Damn. Yes. I remember it well, but I cannot reach it, Corazon. I didn't ask you to reach it. I said think of it.
Just think about it, honey.
You are real invested in about this real quick.
I try to feel the magical connection between us and chase it up, through my hands and into hers. The scent of salt. Why are we all connected to the ocean?
Because Vesuvius is next to the ocean.
No, I know, but also, Nadia. Why is Nadia connected to the ocean?
Which is a little wild for me, because, like...
Julian made sense, because he seems to, all he really wants to do is be a pirate.
And also, he sailed when he was young.
Yes.
But like, Nadia, like, if she comes from Proctor, that's landbound, right?
As far as I can tell, based on...
landlocked?
It's a giant continent, or a part of a giant continent, as far as... So we actually went and we looked up some of the map, and we were like, oh, there's supposed to apparently be a place in between Vesuvia and Procra, but nobody ever talks about it. Okay, that makes sense.
Also other places, but yeah, Vesuvia is super fucking port town, and all the canals saltwater from the port.
Uh-huh.
Which was kind of cool looking, but, like, not what I thought it was at all.
No.
Because we don't talk about, like, the saltwater canals.
We don't talk about the smell that permeates the city.
Yeah, the entire city
or when
is
it's strong. Because, okay, so one of the fun things about being in seaport towns is people that, like, I've known people who live in there, and they usually talk about going, yeah, on some days you can really smell the sea because you do get used to it.
Uh-huh.
But you can tell basically the weather, as in sometimes based off of how strong sometimes the smell is, or when people are bringing in the catch because it smells or like fish, etc., etc. Like, there are patterns of behavior that you notice, and you will actively go, this is the thing that I notice. It's not just a casual, oh, there's a thing going on, yet it's not like it just passes over you.
I say also, when you fall into the canal, it'd be really good to be like, I'm steeped in salt water. The brine enters my mouth, that kind of thing.
Right?
On the other hand, though,
But if those are the aqueducts coming down...
I didn't look really closely. It could be like 6 or 7 rivers that all converge on Vesuvia and run into the sea at the same point, but that would be wild.
That'd be really weird.
Because so many rivers
But also,
all converging to the same mouth.
Honestly, that would be really interesting for me, because I would be like, okay, so is this like a delta area, actually, where this is supposed to be flooded a lot? Like, and then the thing is people built basically their town here, and it's caused them a lot of problems because they've been trying to stop being flooded over and over again.
I say, and it's super basically like Venice, because the entire thing is basically the convergent mouth of like 7 rivers.
Yeah.
And you built a raised city on pylons on top of it.
Yeah, it could be really... It's understandable. All right. But I still don't understand, for me, just like why you would associate that with Nadia.
Well, and I was going to say, and if it happened when she was very young, it depends on what her opinion of very young was. Very young could be 7 years ago for her, when she was, meeting Lucio and assumingly learning about this town.
But she doesn't remember most of that time, so would that be 7 years ago?
Or, like I said, right before the 6-year thing happened.
All right, waves crashing on distant shore, and in front of it all, a heavy gate blocking us entry. Blocking... Okay, I reach out, pressing my hand to the iron, pushing against it. Slowly, with a great groaning creak, it slides open. So this is my mental picture. This is how I see how it works.
Yep.
It's a thing. 1 step, 2. And then I'm falling. And Nadia is falling with me.
We're falling with each other.
Oh my god!
Oh, sky.
All I see is sky.
You and me both.
It takes me a moment to reorient. Except that that's not just sky. That is clouds. That means moisture.
Some people consider the clouds to be part of the sky.
No matter what, it is always there.
Also, sun, part of the sky.
Yeah, sun is sky.
All sky.
What? It's okay. It takes me a moment to reorient myself, but eventually I realize I'm lying down in sand. I sit up, and the sands fall away from me. I squint into the light as my eyes slowly adjust.
Hang on. Okay, of the major arcana that we've seen, they all are attached to beach, shore, or water in some way, except the devil. Yeah?
I think so.
Because the swamp is water.
Yeah.
And, you have the shoreline, which is water.
Yeah.
And you have the tower surrounded by, like the lighthouse surrounded by water.
Right. Well, I mean, it was the tower, I think. Yeah.
No, but like then the lighthouse where you have Miss Kitty.
Oh, the star.
Yeah, the star. Thank you.
The star.
I'm like, which again?
Which she had a bunch of water. Everybody here is water element based.
I was gonna say, they seem like, except for the devil, there's a whole lot of water going down.
I see. Excuse me. Why are y'all being so mean to fire elements?
Again, this was Astra's like focus and Astra's thing,
which is water.
So let's say Astra very affiliated with water, so the only ones he can access very well are mostly water based, or the only ones he thinks of and gets, basically. And it's sort of like.
But if he had to make the solitaire, if he had to make the connections water based, because that was what he is.
Except you don't have to. You can always reach a little bit beyond your borders.
No, I know that. But, that's his strongest element, so you stay mostly in there, and then you kind of go from there. But I'm saying, but he started there.
And so he starts there, and almost all of them are then water-based, but also you get the devil sort of being a pushy toddler going, "Notice me, senpai!
Hello!
I will also be included, bonk."
What are you doing?
Yes, all right.
Yeah. All right. And see Nadia kneeling down in front of me. She sweeps me into her arms and lets out a breathless laugh.
Okay. That's a really, really cute face.
Really cute. I'm very confused as to your enthusiasm, because I literally... So, regardless of being a main character that has... Both of us, now we've come into this world 2 times. I don't understand people's delight about, let's go to the Arcana.
Let's go to another realm. I'm thrilled.
Both times with your main characters, they don't seem super yay! Here's things that are important and why you should care about this.
Okay. So it's one of those things of, I've never done it, but I'm not impressed by my own stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of your main character going, I've never done this thing. I try to do this thing. And when I do it, they're never impressed by themselves. They're never delighted about themselves. Other people get delighted, but it seems like your main character, now with 2 examples, only 2 points of data, but out of 6, reasonable sample.
That's a lot.
is never impressed by their own work. They're just like, ah, good, I can do that.
Oh, okay.
And they're never excited about their own work, which suggests a very level sort of personality, one that doesn't involve a lot of delight or enthusiasm. And honestly, I've never felt that either MC was very delighted, enthusiastic, bouncy, bubbly, warm at all. They feel much more like, I am calm, I am balanced, I reflect in many ways, in whatever flavor I am, more my father, Astra.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is honestly a really interesting, thoughtful experience, because it's like, that's who raised you, so you don't have examples of just being bright and bubbly and enthusiastic and getting thrilled about your own accomplishments. Because I don't feel like he's the kind of parent, dad, mentor, whatever you want to call him, that's going to be like, you have been, brought back and you remember nothing and you're basically an infant in an adult body, right?
I mean,
and then,
you just are.
Right.
You are a different person as far as I know.
He's brought life into this body again, right? And it's basically an infant, okay?
Yep.
And then he's, teaching them things. I don't feel like he's the type that would go, oh my God, you did it, good job, yes, like really excitable. I feel like he would be like, there, that's it, correct, yay. And so you don't ever develop that enthusiasm. And it's kind of wild when, these characters suddenly do it. But also, she says she could never go through the gate. And so I'm back. You've never been here before, Nadia. She said, I saw this person through a gate. You guys went through the gate together, and now she's saying I'm back.
I don't know. It's
anyway.
Fine. Memories are inconcise. It could be inconcise writing because people aren't usually accurate about it anyway. Because they're not telling you perfectly everything that was going on. Like somebody going, tell me exactly what you're doing. Well, I was just standing in the room. Well, no, what you were doing is you were standing over here in the left-hand corner. You were fiddling with a thing. Like, people don't include that.
We're here. I'm back. I knew you could do it.
I guess?
I knew you could do it.
That wasn't an aroused face.
No, I know.
She takes my hand and pulls me to my feet, and I look around in wonder. A single warm island in the midst of a smooth, glittering sea, and on the horizon, great walls of crashing water.
So I'm imagining you're laying on the sand in this single island,
We are now sitting up. We got up already.
That's what I mean. No. So you're on this. What I'm saying is, it sounded like for a second to my brain of, we're on a beach. Over there, we see a single island.
Oh.
But now describing the walls of water, I think this island is the beach we're on.
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
The descriptor is weird, and I appreciate that notation of going like, it does make it sound like it's a very we're on a weird random strip. We're on an isthmus that randomly appears and disappears all the time. It's just a bank that appears when the water is high, or disappears when the water is high.
What is growing on the tree? It almost looks like little feathers.
It's okay, we'll find out.
Okay, crashing water.
The sea is still and glass-like, despite the waterfalls surging into it. Waterfalls surging in... Does the water going up?
No, the waters are surging into the sea.
Oh my God, my brain was like,
Not
what?
the water surging into the waterfalls, surging into the sea.
Yeah, thank you.
Got it.
And above, the sun is high and bright. Nadia smiles and turns to look around as well, still holding my hand.
This place was my retreat as a child.
What?
I often spent hours or even days playing, designing, and thinking here.
You said you've been here once.
No.
She said she'd been here.
No.
I had been here once as a child.
What she said
it means I had been here once, basically meaning that I did it when I was a child. So, when I was a child, that one
The once of my entire childhood.
Yes!
Whoa.
What the fuck? That is not how I heard that at all.
Me neither. But also, she said I couldn't go through the gate.
Yeah.
She said it.
She's like, I've been here once, and then I couldn't go through the gate anymore. I got locked out.
No, but also, like, I saw a person through the gate, but I couldn't go through.
Oh, that's true.
So she's never been in here based on her first description, except for maybe one time she came here of the many times she's been here, and saw a person behind the gate when there'd never been anyone here before. But that time when there was someone in there, she couldn't go through, and then she lost it.
Maybe?
Like someone inhabits your private world. Azale's land has been colonized by an environmentalist.
Right?
All right. Anyway. But yeah, this sounds super wild compared to what she said at first. I would have never expected this I saw this thing. All right. Designing and thinking here.
She sighs wistfully, moving over to stand at the water's edge. She glances over her shoulder at me.
I was expecting this to be a brand new place for both of us, her to be thrilled. But I guess if she has been in here past the gate bunches of times, then she's not going to be like, we made it through the gate. She's going to be like, I've returned. Yay.
Yeah.
But I was expecting a completely different experience. Time works differently in this place, you see? A minute out there could be a day in
Okay,
here.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna fucking cry. This is the non-magical person talking to the magician.
About a deeply
Like the
magical
magician's
place
apprentice.
that they
About
got
a deeply
you to.
magical place that she has no fucking experience really, like, being a magician. This is gonna drive me insane.
I was gonna say, why?
Why would she say this?
I would say, the one thing, why is she expositing this to you? Because you are
are
the one person in the story who would know. One of two people who would really actually know. Yes.
Unless, like, she's so excited and literally doesn't think about it, which is the only reason I've been able to sort of rationalize that in stories, because it is actually really annoying, where you're really like, this is the one character who actually knows this shit. Why are you expositing the plot to them? Because the only reason this would exist here, functionally in the story, in most cases, is because the writers went, if you started with this one first, we need to explain to you the mechanics of what's going on.
And I get that. And I was just saying, to me, it does sound reasonable that she would explain it to the magician based on her personality. Of going, oh my god, let me tell you about this thing that is mine. But it also sounded like, from the setup, it sounded like, this thing is not mine. I saw it once and I want to go to it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I'm
I
like,
saw, I'm even familiar with that convention in like stories and things where it's I saw a mystical land once, far beyond a gate
and then you
or
become
a window.
obsessed with it.
And you get super obsessed with it. You spend your entire life trying to get there.
I've seen the white stag once in the forest, and then I spent the rest of my life hunting down the white stag that I know is the god teasing me or whatever it is.
And I've seen this land once, distantly.
Which I actually thought was deeply charming for Nadia. When, like, actually for this character who's like, I like logic, I like, I like inventing things, she likes very strong, like, things she understands, rational,
science.
She likes science, and then she'd be obsessed with basically this very heavily mystical thing that she's only seen literally once, which would be fascinating for her. But you completely then, like, to me, I'm like, that sort of undercuts her a little bit.
It would have been also, I feel like it actually would have been really interesting if she had only seen it once and still maintained that obsession with it.
Right.
Also, given her scientific propensities, and hang with me for just a second, because, like, obviously this isn't her character, but this would have been really fascinating, okay?
Right.
So the idea would be that she sees this one magical thing, and it impacts her profoundly as a child, right?
Right.
But then, because she has no control over it, sort of in the way, if you just randomly see a dragon walking down Main Street, you know, there's nothing, but you never see it ever again. You have no connection to it. You can't do anything. It doesn't matter how many people you tell in your life. You've got nothing.
You have no evidence.
There's the obsession in the movie Splash of going, but I did see a mermaid. They exist. I need to prove to people that the thing I know exists. You know, even though I have no connection to it. And her going, because I have no control over that thing at all, I'm going to dig into a bunch of things that I do completely have control over. And so her drive to science and creation and mechanics is because of her sort of helpless fascination with this thing she has no control over.
Which is also really interesting because that might imply some level of, like, Prakra doesn't do magic in the same way that apparently your magician implies that everybody else does, or at least they do in Vesuvia, which is that in the story, anybody can basically learn it.
And you know what's funny is there are things of anyone can learn it that are also treated as mystical, you know, in our own reality here, outside of the game. And one of them is meditation, where people go, yeah, it's this mystical thing, you either can or you can't do it, or, you know, it just works or it doesn't or whatever.
Right.
But they've actually hooked people up to brainwave machines, and found out what the meditative brain state is from people who are, you know, professional meditators, monks that have been doing it for 40 years.
Right.
And then gone, okay, this is a specific brain state that all of them will get into when they're meditating, and then we can show regular layman people that brain state, and they can learn how to do it. So it's demystified by science.
Yeah, which is super cool, but also at the same time too, like, it's neat because then you can also show other people who are trying to achieve that state the same state and show you how, like, where your brain is when you're trying to meditate.
And you can start feeling what it feels like to move your brain state by watching the monitor. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so maybe it would be, it's something like that, where they've just super mysticized magic where she comes from, but it's really not like that once you dig in.
Right.
You know? Could be a day in here. I like that they're also telling you, if you faff around in here, you're not wasting plot time.
Actually, yes.
You know, you and I could spend some time together here, and with no one the wiser, except the person you're looking for who's here? Assumably?
Also, that's really rude. Like, okay, so I found this to be hysterical sometimes in stories where they're like, yeah, we could faff around in here. The being that owns the realm / is the realm. What are you doing fucking on me?
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
You've come to my land. to see me, ostensibly, and what you're gonna do is make out aggressively?
You're having an intimate sexual encounter without asking me.
And this is my bedroom.
Honestly, part of my brain wants to be like, it's the Jesus meme, going, you've forgotten to ask someone else when you're going to go have the sexual relationship with your partner, right? But the really traditional Christian one, where it's like, don't forget you need to ask God if you can have sex.
Oh, I don't
Remember
know
that one?
No.
Oh God, I need to fight it for you. It's so bad. It's like, you've forgotten to ask one other person in this relationship because God is considered to be a part of your relationship, which is creepy as hell.
Oh my God.
But
right,
I'm like,
okay.
this one would be a literal manifestation of that. We'd be like, we're making out here, and then you have this Arcana hanging over going, you forgot to fucking ask one person.
Right, if I consent to you boning in my
On me,
in my center of power while I'm here.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Please.
Okay, but
Which
that
I think is actually really funny.
that actually sounds insane, though. Again,
I need to find that meme.
She
for it.
also
It's
sounds
super
really,
funny.
really unfocused in this moment, though. On the other hand, you could do that, like massive, bright elation of, oh my God, I got back to this place. Oh my God, you're so sexy. You did the magic. I've completely forgot that God exists in this moment.
Maybe, or again, she says she's only seen that person once before, but who knows with that man?
But been here tons of times.
Yeah, so she saw the person and then she got knocked out, and then it's like,
maybe she assumes that you'll have to do a separate thing to find the person themselves.
oh no, maybe she will. Okay, and none
Anyway.
the wiser. None the wiser.
None the wiser. All right, here comes the premium scene, I'm sure. Pep.
There we are. Holy cow.
There are so many things to do with just the two of us here. Would you like to go swimming, Corazon?
Corazon, having more knowledge, as the magicians would, because you've talked to Aster, you'd go, you're in the realm of the Arcana. You can't just do whatever the fuck you want.
Or also
here.
going, if I go swimming with you, will it maybe offend the person, the high priestess?
Because also at the same time, yeah, I was like, I don't think actually your magician would actually, like most people's magicians, because if you were largely the magician's apprentice, so you're Aster's apprentice, period, even if, like, it sounds like they sort of change your backstory mildly to fit into everybody else's, so you can be with other people, because otherwise Aster would be a devastated mess, even though he already is in the prologue. So anyway, but like, I just like,
Okay, so
I think you would be like, I don't know what this Arcana is like, so can we not do this?
I feel like there might be some of that, but also like, I feel like Corazon or your MC, who we've just established isn't super excitable and super enthusiastic and stuff like that, even though they are apparently flusterable and a little bit like very overwhelmable, if you will.
They're also like,
They're less likely to forget because of enthusiasm what the context of the magical situation is.
also cannot walk well.
I was just saying,
My cheeks flush, and I blurt out the first thing I can think of. This is not going to happen. Corazon is not flustered. I was like, okay.
that also doesn't make sense because Nadia knows she can change her clothes here, but you don't know. I guess Aster would have never talked about that.
That sounds bonkers.
In all of his primary magical discipline is the Arcana, and the other stuff is sort of bonus to it. And yet...
that just makes Aster sound like a jerk.
And I didn't tell you anything about this because...
at all.
Reasons. But I taught you how to ride horses. One time, on a single day, perfectly, for the rest of your life.
It was amazing.
But also about everything. In 3 years, I've taught you in the entirety of what it takes to be an adult, and to be a magician, and to do magic, and to run a shop, and be a business owner and a customer service representative, as well as a functioning adult human being.
And know how to do taxes, and know how to interact with the law. I mean,
If that matters.
If that, for me it would.
I was gonna say, and the thing is, but I never explained to you how any of these realms work at all, even though I talk about going to them constantly.
Yeah, I don't get that. And also then, it's fine. I didn't bring a swimsuit. I wouldn't stutter just being like, I didn't bring a swimsuit, because it sounds like it didn't happen.
Oh. Okay.
Okay,
It's
so we're
not
not
the
going-
clothing thing. I assumed she would know if she spent tons of time here being an imaginative child. Maybe
Well,
she-
the thing is she's just horny. It's okay.
I get that, but also going, if this were me as an MC, and also if it were Corazon who was invested, I don't think they would care about a swimsuit. They would totally be like, I can strip down to undergarments. That was the tradition of many... Okay, basically, when you had lower, like, technology and basically less...
Or different tech.
Like,
but what
I was gonna say-
a lot of people consider to be
I don't even know how to... I don't even know how to do
more primitive, air quoting.
I don't know a good way to say it, but basically, in the past, when people discovered water, they went in with their clothes.
Yeah, of course.
Period.
Or they
All
went
over
naked.
the world. They either went naked, or they went in with their underclothes, which were thin and would dry quickly.
Or they just went in with their clothes because you really didn't wear a ton of clothes. You didn't have a lot of layers.
Yeah, sometimes.
Especially if you lived by the beach.
Even the history that I've read about swimming and swimwear, which is a really interesting history, though it is largely European-centric when I've looked at it,
Yes.
From the ones that I've been able to find, which could be Google, like, filtering me. But at the same time, like, swimming exists all over the world where there's water. People go in the water.
Yes, Google does filter for you because it assumes, because, you know, it's based in the United States, and it goes, well, you're a white person.
But the entire history of, like, swimwear all around the world is basically people saw water and they just went into it.
Yeah.
They didn't worry about it at all.
Yeah.
And also, swimsuits are really a specific thing in this world? That is a piece of, like information. All right. It's just you and I, after all. Wherein the magician remembers it's not just you and I. We came here to see a whole-ass person.
I am now very angry at you. Scared up with Nadia, or I'm scared of sea monsters.
What?
What?
I mean, you wouldn't skinny dip because you know there's literally the major arcana here. And
also, too, you can literally change your clothes here to whatever you want.
Which we can assume we don't know because Astra didn't tell us. But also, I'm scared of sea monsters doesn't make any sense for I brought you to your personal gate.
Yep.
So you basically
anyway, well, we're out of time.
Have to buy the scene if you're not going to say, I'm scared of sea monsters, and have that be the canon statement that your character says.
That is ridiculous.
Why would you say that? Instead of like, no thank you, or we have a task, or, you know, I'm nervous, or, but then I'd be naked?
Or be going like, I'm not comfortable being naked?
Or I just say,
you have any, no, I'm scared of sea monsters. Like, come on.
That's so specific.
We're out of time.
So, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos. It has been super helpful. We appreciate your help dealing with the algorithm.
Yes.
It's been fantastic. It's been a slow process, but it is happening.
Yes.
And also at the same time, if you'd like to support us more directly, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon and our Twitch. We have some links in the description down below. If you would like to go ahead and go check those out, that'd be awesome. And I have been Scandal.
We also have a Tumblr in case you're from over there. You can check us out there. It doesn't have like tons of stuff on it, but we do have some memes and things, and you can talk to us there.
Yes, absolutely.
And I have been Liz. And it was great playing with you. Bye!